Sometimes the world changes in a weekend, and that's exactly what just happened. The entire global financial landscape just got hit by a seismic shock. Two events, seemingly separate, just collided and ignited an absolute firestorm in the precious metals market. They've set the stage for a rally that could be unlike anything we've seen before. And really, this one sentence says it all. For decades, the US dollar has been the undisputed king of global finance, right? It's been backed by the most powerful economies in the world. Well, that foundation, it just got some major cracks in it. So, what's the deal here? That's the big question we're going to tackle. Why are gold and silver suddenly on an absolute moonshot, hitting these incredible new highs? Well, the answer is all about connecting the dots between two massive geopolitical shockwaves that just rocked the entire world. Okay, let's break this down. It all started with the first domino, and believe it or not, it began with a dispute over Greenland. This led to a stunning move from the White House that basically shattered decades of diplomatic norms. Out of nowhere, President Trump slaps a 10% tariff, and get this, not on his usual rivals, but on 8 of America's closest and most important allies. And the reason? They stood in the way of the United States' push for control over Greenland. And when you look at who's on this list, it is just, wow, it's truly shocking. We are talking about Denmark, Germany, the UK, France. These are the core economic engines of Europe. And this isn't just some warning shot either. The plan is to ramp these tariffs up from 10% to a crippling 25% by June. Right, and here's the kicker. This is the part you really need to understand. These aren't just any old allies. They are the absolute bedrock of support for the US dollar system. So targeting them with tariffs, it's like attacking the dollar's own bodyguards. This move alone sent a massive shockwave through the global financial system. But wait, it gets crazier. As all this is going down in Europe, a second, equally powerful shockwave was hitting on the other side of the world. And this one came from America's closest neighbor. In a move that I think left everyone in Washington completely stunned, Canada signs this huge, landmark strategic partnership with China. And let me be clear, this wasn't some minor trade deal. Oh no, this was a clear, unambiguous signal that Canada is recalibrating its entire economic focus, making a hard pivot away from the United States and toward the East. I mean, if you want to see just how dramatic this shift is, all you have to do is look at the numbers. While it was aligned with the US, Canada had a 100% tariff wall against Chinese electric vehicles. Now, under this new deal with China, that tariff just collapses down to a mere 6.1%. It's a total 180. And it's not just about cars. This deal goes way deeper. China's cutting duties on Canadian canola from a massive 84% all the way down to 15%. Meanwhile, Canada has agreed to let in almost 50,000 Chinese EVs every single year. I mean, think about that. A G7 nation is deliberately weaving its economy into China. So let's put the pieces together. You've got the dollar's best friends in Europe getting hammered, and its next-door neighbor in North America making a deal with China. Look, separately, these are huge stories. But when they happen together, you get a perfect storm for precious metals. And boom, this is what happened next. Gold absolutely exploded. It didn't just beat its old record, it shattered it, soaring to over $4,600 an ounce. I mean, a move like this, we haven't seen anything like it in decades. And you better believe silver wasn't just sitting on the sidelines. It rocketed past $93 an ounce, blasting through a massive psychological barrier that's been in place for years. The so-called poor man's gold is suddenly the star of the show. Now, with silver, there's a whole other layer to this story. Right as demand is hitting a fever pitch, China decides to restrict 60 to 70% of its refined silver exports. They are literally weaponizing the supply of a metal that is critical for both industry and investment. This is creating a massive global squeeze. So, faced with all this chaos, what did the world's financial authorities do? Well, they panicked. Central banks have gone from just buying moderately to an outright frenzy. We are seeing a spike in gold buying that is completely off the charts. Look, what we're seeing here, this isn't just a blip on the radar. This isn't some normal market swing. What the experts are saying is that this is a fundamental change in how the game is played. This is the start of what they're calling a Super Bowl run.
So you might be asking, why is this time different? Well, there are three huge reasons. First off, this is de-dollarization 2.0. It's not just the BRICS nations anymore. Now it's core US allies in the EU and the G7 looking for alternatives. Second, the central bank buying is now a full-blown panic, with 95% saying they expect to buy more gold. And third, China has turned silver into a strategic weapon, making it one of the hottest commodities on the planet. So if you take away one thing from this explainer, let it be this. America's staunchest allies, the very nations that used to hold the line for the dollar, are now being forced into a corner. To protect their own economies from this new era of trade weaponization, they have no choice but to start shifting their reserves away from the dollar and into the safety of gold and silver. And let's be crystal clear. This isn't some prediction about the future. This is happening right now. A massive amount of new buying power has been unlocked, and it is flowing directly into precious metals. A new global gold rush has officially begun, and the world's financial order might just be changing right before our very eyes. The only question is, are you watching?